We'll go ahead and get started. If you have a question for Coach, please use the hand raise feature. First, we'll go to Evan Barnes.
Taylor, obviously not the way you wanted to start the season, but obviously John Morant did more than maybe even you expected tonight. Can you just talk about just maybe how important it was for him to get going in the second half and what he did tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Ja was special tonight. His stat line, obviously, amazing. I thought his aggressive mentality was great. The Spurs were throwing a lot of physicality, on our entire roster. But I thought he did a great job handling it, finding a way to get into the paint, creating for others, 9 assists, 1 turnover. Got to the foul line a number of times. He led a big charge. We need to lean on him to keep this game somewhat competitive. Just didn't get the result tonight, but he had a heck of a game.
Drew Hill.
Taylor, you started out pretty well, and then it seemed like in the second quarter they started to figure it out on offense. What was it that was sort of the challenge for you on defense that didn't go well tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a combination of things. I think, we got off to a good start. We were getting stops. I mean, it was a high-scoring first quarter, but we were able to get out in transition. They really picked up their pressure in the second quarter, which I really think impacted both sides of the ball. We weren't able to get into our stuff, as we normally do. We weren't able to get downhill like we normally do, and they took advantage of it, forced some turnovers, forced some errant shots, some wasted possessions, gave them some momentum. And then I thought they were an attack force all night. I mean, a lot of their guys played really well tonight, made a lot of shots, made some tough shots. But their aggressive mentality got them a lot of points in the paint and got them to the free throw line a lot, which is really disappointing on our part where we've been really stressing that, all preseason. So, credit to the Spurs. I thought they picked up their physicality in that second quarter, which really dictated that quarter. And then just all night, I thought offensively they really had us on our heels. We didn't do a good job of keeping them out of the paint, guarding one-on-one, and we paid the price for it.
Adam Tyke.
Hey, Coach. You made a major point of emphasis in the preseason about limiting your opponent's three-point shooting. Obviously, the Spurs kind of went off from beyond the arc tonight. Are there any tangible improvements you can make between this game and the next to keep that number down for your next opponent?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at 25 three-point attempts, that's actually not that bad. They got hot. I think a couple of guys got open looks that we could have done a better job of, whether it was guarding the ball and rotations, and a couple of missed assignments. We'll go back and look at it, but we've talked all preseason long that if we're gonna have to live with something, it's gonna be some threes from the high quad, and we'll go back and chart what we did from the 3-point defense, but what we can't live with is giving up 60 points in the paint. So that's more the issue than the 3-point line right now. If we can take care of the paint, not give up 130 points, and only give up 25 3-point attempts and only 10 makes, that's actually not bad.
Peter.
Yeah, Taylor, did you feel as though there was still some rust coming in from Brandon Clark and some of the bench players? It seemed like the spark wasn't quite there as we've seen in the past.
Yeah, I mean, our bench means a lot to us. I think Brandon, shook it off there after the first half and played a lot better in the second half. But I think collectively we just didn't have it, with our bench tonight. I think the second quarter, their bench unit, really got after ours, and it kind of threw us off. And it's going to be great to go back and watch the film and continue to give these guys, the ammo to go out there and be successful, which they are pretty much night in and night out. So tough one tonight. Didn't get it from the bench, but I know they'll be better the next game.
Last question. We'll go to Parker Fleming.
Yeah, Coach, just what's probably the biggest takeaway from this game that you're going to be really focusing on in these next few games leading up to the next game?
I mean, there's a lot of things. I think offensively, how teams are going to continue to guard us, which is to try to take away the paint. I think for the majority of the game, they did a great job. I kept looking up, at the board to see how many, paint points we had and get an idea of how many paint touches we had. And then we finally got there and exploded, kind of in the second half late in the game. But, what are teams doing to us offensively that are going to make us struggle? How are they shifting and taking away the paint? How are they pressuring the ball? Tonight, we hadn't seen that. So the way that they were really getting into the ball really dictated, how our offense operated. And I'd say defensively, just continue to identify how we can be better one-on-one. I think that it starts there. I think our transition defense is always got to be a key. We gave up 20+ points on the fast break. That can't happen. And then the free throw line. So, a couple of things, but glaring areas of improvement. Hopefully, if we can turn that around game to game and just keep focusing on it and finding incremental ways to get better, I think that's going to really make us a much better basketball team.
Thanks, Coach.
Great. Thanks, everybody.